Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jana from ilearnczech.com, and well, this is the third video in the series focused on Czech cases or Czech declensions. Well, before I dive in and look at individual cases, I would like to talk about one more thing, and that's called case questions. I'm not 100% sure about, well, what I have called it, because this is what we call it in Czech. We call it pádové otázky, meaning questions related to cases, to grammatical cases. So each case has a form of the word who and the word what. So everything that I will write here are different forms of the same word, either who or what. And why is this important? Well, Czech people, when they learn, it helps them recognize what case something is, if they need to think about it. If, for example, a teacher asked at school, because, well, in normal life you don't really need to think about it, then, well, they will not, as I told you before, they will not use these, but they learned at school case questions for each case. So instead of thinking, oh, this is the first case, or, well, definitely not, this is the nominative, they will think, okay, this is kdo co, or this is kým čím. And this helps them realize like which form it should be. So kdo is who. So if you want to ask who did it, then you would use this form. Kdo to udělal. And so I will first do this and then move on to what. So kdo, then genitive would be koho. So if you see the word koho, it's just a different form of who. It's the genitive form of who. So if I want to ask, for example, who did you get this from? So I would say od koho, from whom, to máš. So from whom do you have it? Od koho to máš. So koho. For dative, it would be komu. For example, who are you calling? So, well, literally, to whom are you calling? Komu voláš? Komu telefonuješ? So, komu, in this case, again, is who. Now, the good news, maybe not, is that sometimes the forms repeat. So we have the same form for genitive and for accusative. For example, who are you looking for? So you might already know, if you watched the first video of this series, that we do not have for. You just say, like, who are you searching? Who are you looking for? So, koho hledáš? Koho hledáš? Because if I say kdo, then I would be asking about the subject, like who is looking for somebody. So who's looking, who's searching? Kdo hledá? But if I say koho hledáš, then the sh is telling me you are looking for somebody, and koho is telling me that this is asking about the object. For the vocative, we do not have any form of who or what, because it's a case where you address somebody. But you can ask about something in the locative case, and the form would be kom. Who are you talking about? So in this case, there would be a preposition o kom mluvíš? O kom mluvíš? So about whom are you talking? Well, you might have noticed another difference between English and Czech. In English, normally, you put the prepositions at the end of the question, but you do not do it in Czech. It has to be at the beginning. So, o kom mluvíš? Who are you talking about? And the last one, the form of who is kým. For example, who are you talking with? So, s kým mluvíš? S kým mluvíš? So, with whom are you speaking or talking? Now, the forms for what. So, what is co? For example, what is it? Co to je? Co je to? Or, well, let's show you right away that the same form actually is also in the accusative. So I might ask, what do you want? Co chceš? Co chceš? What do you need? Co potřebuješ? Well, so based on the verb, you will understand if you're asking about a subject or an object. Moving on, now genitive. Čeho. Čeho. What are you afraid of? Čeho se bojíš? Čeho se bojíš? What are you afraid of? No preposition, but genitive. Well, I did mention that genitive is often used instead of in or ol in English. Okay, the dative case, čemu. An example might be, what are you laughing at? Čemu se směješ? Or what do you don't understand? Sorry, that was not quite right. What do you not understand or what don't you understand? Čemu nerozumíš? Čemu nerozumíš? So that would be the dative form of co. And, well, because you're smart and because you can see it now, you can notice that these words have the same endings. Not 100%, it doesn't work here, but here it does. If you are able to remember these endings, it will be very helpful because they are also used for adjectives. So they'll come in handy. Or for other pronouns. For example, ten uses also ho and mu and so on. Okay, now the locative. So it will have the same ending. Oh, but this is not the right color. So čem and čím. Just because I've been talking about the ending, so I'm impatient and I want to show you that, well, there is not om, it's not čom, right? It's čem. So kom, čem, and here you write a different, well, the sound is the same, but here you write y and here you write I, but when you speak, there is no difference. So, kým and čím. So, careful here, it's not the same. But, well, you see there is e also, and there is o. Just here, there is an e sound. Well, but I shouldn't rob you of examples, so... the locative. What was the film about? What was the movie about? O čem byl ten film? O čem, about what? Byl, was, ten film, the movie. O čem byl ten film? And the last one, the instrumental, čím. Let's say, well, how do you get to work? Meaning, by what do you drive or do you travel? So, čím jezdíš do práce? By what do you ride to work? Čím jezdíš do práce? Okay, so for each case, Czech people learn the forms of who and what. And I believe it's good if you, as a foreigner, can also link these forms, these case questions, to each case. Why? Because then when you want to form a question, you will remember which form of the word who or what you should use. Because as I was trying to show you, you don't always use kdo and co in questions if you're asking about something that is not in the nominative case. And as I have indicated, the endings that I have underlined will also be very similar, if not the same, in the adjectives and some pronouns in the declensions. So they're important. Okay, so this is it about the so-called case questions. And perhaps I should show you some examples of declensions, of the system, at least a little bit, before we have a look at individual cases. So this is what the following video will be about. If you like this video, please give it a like, share it, become my subscriber, and I look forward to talking to you next time. Stay tuned. Well, this is Jana. Bye.